I am Ellen. About 3 years ago, Beltane, I was discovering Witchbox, and I saw this email up there, or there was something up there from this guy named Les Sinclair, basically begging for somebody to come and do work with the pagans in prison, or the Wiccans in prison. And I picked up the phone and called him, and I do 2 prisons at this point. I do Deer Ridge out in Madras, and I do OSCI, and I haven't missed a single one except the one I got hit by a truck.
I served 20 years at Oregon State Penitentiary for being a damn fool. Believe me, you people look like, to us who are in prison, you look like angels coming in. I mean, bright, shining souls.
I'm a Pagan volunteer at Oregon State Penitentiary, the maximum security prison. From 2008 until present, I've been doing the Wiccan Circle. I've increased that to twice a month, and I'm also twice a month in Santiam Correctional with the Wiccan Circle in a minimum security prison, which is a very, very different experience from OSP. And just now, we're starting a Satru Kindred at OSP, and this last Saturday we had our first bloat ensemble, and I'm going to be doing that twice a month as well. It isn't what I was expecting, but it's something that I'm finding very fulfilling, and I actually find it energizing. It's not this huge sacrifice on my part that everybody seems to think it is. It's, you know, I get back from them at least as much as I put into it.
In 2012, I had received some sort of a spiritual awakening that, you know, if not me, who, and if not now, when. In spirituality, then it gifted to these prisoners helps them to have a solid foundation so that they can, you know, understand to control themselves and understand that, you know, not to be judgmental and how to have compassion. And so that's my personal job right now in the prison system.
And I'm Rita, and I help Grace and Ellen at OSCI in Deerhurst and Madras. In just over the last few weeks, I've been running into people of other faiths who have people of their faith in prison and their needs are not being met. So right now I'm kind of processing that level of information and trying to figure out, well, what can we do for other groups as well that need some help.
And I'm working towards a master's in divinity with a major in pagan pastoral counseling. And when I was taking a chaplaincy course, there was a requirement that I interview a chaplain. And so luckily for me, the chaplain at Coffee Creek is a Unitarian Universalist. And so she was very happy to have me come in and interview her. And one of my questions was, do you have trouble finding volunteers of any particular faith system? And I expected her to say Buddhist or something like that. And instead she said, no, just the pagans. We don't have any pagan volunteers. So I thought, crap, I just stepped right into that one. In January of 2012, I began volunteering at Coffee Creek, which is in the medium security side. And it's the only women's prison in Oregon. Maximum security, women go to the state hospital, of course. But it very much bothers me that the identified term is Wiccan, not pagan. And I think that there could be a lot of people missed because they simply don't know what word to use.
I'm Karen, and I'm here just because I'm really invested in seeing all of this continue in the prisons. I worked for the prison system for over 25 years in Oregon. I started at the penitentiary for 13 years, and then I went up to Coffee Creek and was the program rep that brought in leisure time activities and volunteers and the volunteer programs at Coffee Creek. After which I went to Tillamook with Oregon Youth Authority and worked with the juveniles. So I've brought pagan and nonviolent communication with me anywhere I went. But when we first started, it was a whole different story.
Thank you.
And I'm part of the local cups group in this church that is sponsoring the Ellen and myself and Laurel and Rita when she's available to go to OSCI and Deer Ridge. And as Ellen said, I got talked into it because they needed wheels and I had a working vehicle. And I've been going ever since and thoroughly enjoy it. And it's been fascinating. I'm very honored to be able to do this. Working with these men is just, as you mentioned, I always feel invigorated and full of energy after working with these men.
Ellen asked me to come teach a chant workshop at the prison, and that's something I really enjoy doing. Chanting is one of my favorite things to teach, and so I went, and I was very nervous, and one of the men came up to me and put his hand right on my arm, and he said, "I have a message for you." And I said, "Oh," and he says, "Be fearless." And that really stuck with me, probably almost more than anything any teacher has ever told me in my entire, life of being a pagan. It really affected me, and ever since then I guess I would say I was hooked on volunteering at the prisons.
We met and talked, and it just seemed like the right thing to do. So I went through the training and stuff like that, and I go up to Shutter Creek Correctional Institution, which is one of the minimum security prisons in Oregon. There.
So below, within us and without us, we are the dream weavers, we are the magic weavers, as above so below, within us and without us, we are the dream weavers. The weavers, we are the woven, we are the dream.